helplessness seeing one person when there might be 49 other people going through the same exact thing, and we can't do anything about it right now. That to me is what it means to not have a holy temple. Loss. To experience loss, to experience helplessness, to experience complete uncontrol, that we are not where we need to be right now. The world is painting a picture that Israel are a bunch of animals, that we're starving children in Gaza. And us as Jews, what do? We stand there helplessly looking at how the world is looking at us right now. We see that the world is looking at us with complete fogged up glasses. We're saying to ourselves, how is this possible? That the world sees us, that we're starving children in Gaza. Celebrities across the world are saying children in Gaza are being starved, and it's coming because of Israel and the Jewish people. I look at this and I say, what is happening? What is going on? How is this possible? And if you're feeling the same way that I'm feeling, it must mean that there's a God in the world. Because we can't explain how this is happening. And it must mean that it's a sign from a Kadosh Baruch Hu. It doesn't mean that a Kadosh Baruch Hu is a bad God and is making it that we're bad people. It just means that anything that we do as Jews in this world, it doesn't really matter if we drop leaflets from the skies, we bring 18-wheelers of food into Gaza. It doesn't matter if we're kind. It doesn't matter if we're gentle. It doesn't matter if we give tzedakah. It doesn't matter. Because you know what? Everything that we're doing, seemingly, it seems like we're doing it the right way. But we see that it's not up to us. It's not up to us. There's clearly a divine hand in all of this that makes it that we are who we are in this world. Anti-Semitism on college campuses. Kids can't walk from one side of the campus to another side of the campus. People are wearing keffiyahs. They're not even Palestinian. And they hate Jews. What is going on? How can you explain this? How can you explain what is taking place in the world? How can you explain that 6 months ago on Pico, in front of Adas Torah, there was a mayhem going on in our neighborhood? How do you explain that? It must mean that we clearly, as individuals, clearly as the Jewish people, we are not doing enough. It must really mean that we really are the chosen people, and that we are a light unto the nations. And we clearly have to take a day like today and mamash, look at ourselves and say, am I doing enough? Rabbi, I'm here at shul, I give tzedakah, I do I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough. I'm a good person, but I'm not doing enough. What more can I do to make it that this kid in the tunnel can get out? Yeah, I'm not Trump. Yeah, I'm not Netanyahu. But what can I do, Mordechai Teller, do to make it that this Eviatar, amongst other captives, people, Jews, can get out of that tunnel? That, my friends, is what I saw, and that's what resonated with me today on Tisha B'Av. Seeing this kid in a tunnel. Because I don't necessarily know what it means to not have a building. What I understand, not having a building, a Beit HaMikdash, a temple, means that we are lacking something. We are lacking unity, we are lacking togetherness, we are lacking brotherhood, we are lacking achdus, we are lacking. And seeing a modern day of a man in a tunnel being held hostage, that shows me that we are lacking all those things. Unity, togetherness, brotherhood, and we are not doing what we need to do. So how can we do it? I took an article from Aish.com. Thank you, Aish.com. And it has some practical things that we can do to ensure that we are, maybe this could be our last Tisha B'Av, and it could become a chag for us next year. We are disconnected from ourselves. Many of us don't know who we are or what our values are anymore. We don't know who we are. We don't know what our values are. We distract ourselves in hundreds of ways every day. We numb the pain with bad habits and substances that promise us escape. We push off the goals in our lives that really matter and get lost in the endless minutia of the daily life. We wonder why we are so easily bored and restless. Is that all true? Yes, all of us. We don't know what we're living for. We don't know what our goals are. We don't know what our values are. This is our biggest enemy. If my wife were here, she would tell me that. She tells me it right this second. She's not even here. This is our worst enemy. Today on Tisha B'Av is an opportune time to reflect on who we are and what we want out of our life. It is a time to face the pain of feeling disconnected, so we can start to reconnect with our goals and our values. It is a time to learn more about our Jewish identities and where they fit into our lives. As Rav Noach Weinberg said, of blessed memory, who started Aish Torah, he said, do you know what you're willing to live for? You know what you're willing to live for. But he changed it. He said, do you know what you're willing to die for? If you know what you're willing to die for, now it's time to start living for it. I know it's such an overwhelming thing to live with that intensity on a day-to-day basis. Who wants to say, oh my gosh, I'm like faced with death all the time? But many of us need to have that kick in the tush and say, okay, I know what I'm willing to die for it. And chas v'chalila, that I should actually have to die for it. Because we shouldn't have to die for it. But would I be willing to die for that thing? Yes. Now, start living for it on a day-to-day basis when the threat of death isn't at your doorstep. So that means, stop paying attention to your phone. I'm talking to myself right now. Stop looking at your phone right now, and you got 3 or 4 kids that are right there asking for your attention, saying, Abba, 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 can you do this with me? Abba, Abba, Abba. Wait, 1 second. I'm busy. Busy? Yalla. We have our children in front of us. And your phone, your email, your text message is that much more important than your kinderlach who are sitting right in front of you? Can I know? I just had my youngest. She just turned 3. Had her 3-year-old birthday party last week. She was a doctor. It was a doctor party. And I'm of an age now where it's like, you know what? My kids say to me, are you going to have more kids? Are you going to have more kids? You're going to have more kids. Honestly, I want more. I want more. It's a bracha. With the life gets in the way. Mortgage, rent, jobs, this, that. And you're like, all these other things take up time, take up space. When you experience your child, you're like, I want more. I want more blessing. We should constantly be looking at that and saying, what is getting me out of bed every morning? And start living for it. And not get distracted from the things that we think are important but really are not. We are disconnected from each other. We are lonely even in crowded rooms. We forget how to reach out for help when we are in need. We also forget how to offer help to those around us. We focus on our differences instead of what unites us. We judge each other harshly and are slow to forgive. We message each other instead of talking. We often don't even notice each other as we speed through our days. On Tisha B'Av, it is a time to pause and become aware of how disconnected we are from each other. It is a time to focus on what unites us as a nation instead of what divides us. Again, I'm not chutzpahdik of me to say such a thing. But when Jews are fighting with each other in the Knesset, this Jew is this way, this Jew is this way, this Jew is this way, this Jew is this way. We're all different people, but we're Jews. At the end of the day, when machloket happens between Jews, what do you think happens? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he gets sad. He says, how is it that my children, who are supposed to be there for each other, Kamsa bar Kamsa, story in the Gemara, you're uninvited. You're not supposed to be here. You're different than me. Baloney. We're brothers. We're family. God is going to say, you know what? If you can't get along, I'm going to make something that you're going to cry about. October 7th. How many October 8th Jews came about from October 7th? I'm going to make you cry about it. You weren't connected before October 7th. I'm going to make you connected now after October 7th. Only 20% of the Jews got out from Mitzrayim. There's 80% of Jews that didn't get out. They died from the plague of darkness. How many of us are going to convert the other 80% of Jews that are here in Los Angeles, here in America? They're meant to die, Rabbi. They're meant to die. No. What's the story about Mordechai and Esther? Esther walks in to Mordechai. And she said, what am I to do? What am I supposed to do? Mordechai says to her, we're all going to live. The decree is that we're going to live. But the question is, you, Esther, what part are you going to play in our miracle? What part are you going to play in the miracle to ensure that our 80% of Jews are going to survive? It's not my problem, Rabbi. What does it say in Pirkei Avot? If I'm not for myself, who will be for me? That's true. If I'm not for myself, who will be for me? It's true. I got to take care of myself. I got to take care of my family. We're concentric circles. Myself, my family, my extended family, my shul, my Pico community, my Israeli community gets bigger, bigger, bigger. And yes, if I'm not for myself, who will be for me? But if I'm only for myself, who am I? That means stop being so selfish all the time and figure out, you know what? The person who doesn't have a place for Shabbat, we all know that person. Person who doesn't have a place for Shabbat. They're too embarrassed, they're too ashamed to say, you know what, I need a place for Shabbat. You think every week that person wants to go to us and say, hey, you know what, I don't have a place for Shabbat. We have to make sure that those people are taken care of every week. They have a place for Shabbat. That's just one example. It's not comfortable. It's not meant to be comfortable. We have to extend beyond ourselves and make sure that we're doing acts of kindness, acts of chesed. And that will ensure to bring back our Beit HaMikdash, our holy temple. That will ensure to make sure that Evietar gets taken out of the tunnel. It is time to reach out for help if you need it and give help when you see someone in need. It is a time to let go of our judgments and forgive those who have hurt us. Forget the small stuff. If God forbid somebody in your life, you never saw them again, but you were bearing a grudge. You took revenge. You held resentment. Get rid of the small stuff. It is time to notice the people around us and talk to each other more often. It is time to think of how isolated we can easily become if we don't work on reconnecting with each other. So right now we've talked about we are disconnected from ourselves and we're disconnected from other people. Now we are disconnected from God. Even us in the shul. We don't know how to find inspiration in our lives. We feel spiritually bankrupt and ungrateful even in the midst of abundance. We feel lost in a world that grows more chaotic and violent every day. We wonder if there is more to life and how we should search for it. We don't know the words to ask for what we need. We feel abandoned and confused. And let's say us in this room, we don't feel abandoned and confused because we're living with a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Then it goes back to the question, how can I be a light where I can help somebody else not feel lost and confused and give them a helping hand, give them an opportunity to feel that they are a mensch? How can I do that? This is the most painful disconnection of all, the disconnection from our Creator. The walls are around our hearts that won't let Him in. The doubt and anger that push Him away when we need Him the most. It's time to find a space to pray again. This is the time to learn how to find inspiration and a path towards faith. This is the time to bring spirituality back into our lives again and find the words to ask for what we need, to turn towards our Creator instead of away, to reconnect with a miniature temple within each of our hearts where we feel close to God and to our life's purpose. It's not hard to cry this year as the images that the past year flashed before us. We weep. And we also weep for the painful disconnection that it is our heart of our grief. How can we make this Tisha B'Av different? It says that every year that the temple is not rebuilt is as if I'm causing it not to be rebuilt. Do something small. We all have these big, grandiose, big, bagadol things that we think that we need to do. How many of us go to the gym? Try to go to the gym. How many of us have coaches? How many of us have therapists? The coach will not tell us to go on the bench press and start bench pressing 300 pounds. What's going to happen? You're going to die. Maybe you won't die, but we're going to die because we can't lift that much. And if we even tried, we're going to get a hernia. We're going to tear our muscles. You're going to have an injury. Same thing goes for acts of kindness, acts of chesed. If you try to go big, you're going to burn out. You're going to crash. You're going to fall on your face. It's not going to work. So we need to try to do something small every day. Something small that will make me a better person, that will make my neighbors a better people, that will make my community a better person, better people. What is that thing that I can do? I don't know. But you need to know. And if we start focusing on the small things that we can do every day as a kahila, as a group, and each one of us are doing something small, we'll start building something really big. And that will start having massive impacts on the rest of the world. Our Jews, the rest of the world, our neighbors. But it's got to be small. Hatmada, every day. Small. I don't know more what I can say, other than that was just my pump up to you guys. Because it was really just a pump up for me. So I wish us all Hashem should give us strength. Hashem should give us clarity. Hashem should give us the resolve to not give up. Hashem should give us the opportunity to see where we can put our stone into the Beit HaMikdash. It shouldn't be confusing for us. It should be with a lot of clarity. And when we see that there's a need, as it says in Pirkei Avot, and a place that there are no leaders, strive to be a leader. We all have the capability of being leaders. And once we see that within ourselves, that we can do something small every day, then next year we will have a Beit HaMikdash. Thank you guys.